So guys, there is a feature that I talked a little bit about it in the dev server, but I really wanted to show the capabilities of this feature right now in the live server, right? Which they might not be the most useful in certain situations, but it is still pretty cool to use. And in certain very specific situations, it can be very useful. So how does this map new feature work? So the idea here is that we're just flying the test flight over here with the Su-34. You can basically click the M and hold the M. This can be done in any match or anything, right? And we have the map over here. And then we have two little things over here. The map moving mode, which is a new mode that you can basically move the map however you want, which is pretty cool. You can basically zoom in and, you know, find a target and everything. And the second mode is the marker. So basically you can set a point of interest, for example, this AA system, for the targeting systems of any like system of the aircraft, right? So for example here, it will be marked there, the AA system. If I want to change, I can just click here. I can go here. And yeah, I change it to the other AA system, as you see. So, and it will be pointed there for you to actually use, right? And with this, you can basically destroy any target from anywhere if you have the range on the weapon system. But also introduces another thing that not a lot of people are talking about, which is pretty interesting. You can actually increase the range. As you know, we have a max lock, basically range on any targeting system of 20 kilometers. So as you see, it is locking basically the middle of the air and not the ground when it's above 20 kilometers. See, if I put it less than 20 kilometers, it will like get fixed to a position on the ground. But if I put above 20 kilometers, it's just locking in the middle of the air at 20 kilometers, which is not good for you to actually utilize a laser guided weapon, for example, or any type of weapon in general, right? With this, you can actually bypass that, which is pretty interesting. How useful this is, I don't know, but it is pretty interesting no matter what. So here what we can do, for example, let's try to hit this ship just because it's a larger target. It's a little bit easier to use. And we're going to try to, you know, use this to bypass the laser, block of 20 kilometers. So the way that you do this, you can just point to the target over here and you're going to change to the camera. See, it's saying 38 kilometers. It's saying that I need to be at 31, more or less, for the altitude and speed that I am to fire the missile, 32. And it's increasing, of course, the max range of the missile at this stage. And I cannot move the camera. If I move the camera, it will get to the 20 kilometers. So for example, here, if I move it, it will lock in the middle of the air. Okay, so I will lose it. So you got to be careful with that. So you basically don't change the camera angle. Okay, and you just don't change it. And then you can just launch the missile, even if it's above 20 kilometers. The only thing, I'm gonna just maintain it above 20 kilometers just for you to actually know that it's working. The only thing that you have to worry about is to keep the laser there. Don't change the camera, just keep on the third person whenever you locked. If you want to change the target, use the map and not the camera itself. It's a little bit weird to use, but it can be done. And with this, the missile, even though it is at, we have that 20 kilometer mark block of range, the missiles, the bombs and stuff, they're still going to go there. Remember, the KH-38ML, they don't have GPS guidance or anything like that. What they have is an INS, an inertial navigation system. So they are gonna kind of go to the target, but not really be precise enough to hit the target unless they use the laser. And with this, you can basically just keep a distance from 30, 40, doesn't matter, the max range of the missile, and you can get a hit. See? Of course, with the INS, it will hit anyway. And you can basically do like a 60 kilometer shot, maybe, if it has the range on the energy of the missile and stuff, with the laser guidance, which is nuts. Again, I don't know how useful this is, because normally laser guided weapons, they don't have the most amount of, you know, things to actually do, like to attack. But if you use a large enough warhead, you can attack ground targets that are kind of there, and you're gonna kill them. So for example, first of all, let's try to use the KH-38 on the max range that I can do in the same ship there. Let me change this. I don't know. Yeah, maintain on the same ship. It's almost dying, but still. So we're gonna get the most amount of range over here in speed. We're just gonna climb and get away, you know. And we're gonna try to maintain the lock as further away as possible, the max range of the missile, and see if we can actually hit it with a very, very far distance shot. So, but you get the idea, right? You can basically increase the range of any laser-guided missile or bomb or anything past beyond the 20-kilometer mark, which is the TV, you know, blockage that we have right now in the game, which is kind of weird. I guarantee that, I mean, there is such a thing in real life. You can get some locks from further away or closer, but I think it depends on the system, right? So they probably use this to balance it out a little bit. So we're gonna try to just get speed. We are very, very, very high. We're not gonna change the camera, of course, because it's beyond the gimbal limits of the camera system. So if I change to the camera right now, it will lose the proper lock that I have on that ship. So we're just gonna wait a little bit and get a little bit of speed. So you just have to maintain it, and as you see, 78 kilometers, but the max range that the actual missile is telling me down there, it's 40. So we need to get to 40 kilometers to actually be able to launch the missile. But still, you're gonna be able to use a laser-guided weapon for a 40 kilometer shot, right? So we're gonna try this one, and then afterwards we're gonna try to use the laser-guided bomb for you to actually see how effective it can be for a normal ground battle, for example, a normal tank. Again, I don't know how useful this thing will be in a real battle, but it is at least cool to check it out and see if it actually would work properly. So 41 kilometers, 40, and there we go. We launched the missile, and then now I'm gonna just turn perpendicularly to the target to not get close, because that's the objective, right? The objective with this is to maintain the lock and, you know, just fly away and be safe from any AA systems, right? That's one of the major things about it, right? It's gonna take a little bit of time, but yeah, you just gotta maintain the lock. Of course, in a NATO aircraft, this would be easier. I just wanted to show with the KH-38 because it's a faster missile, but so it's easier to show. But and some other missiles, like for example the ASM and stuff, they have GNSS guidance. It will be even easier to do this. But of course, here we are with the Russians, and they like this type of TV system that it's just pointed, you know, upwards or forwards. And there we go, almost there, and it's a hit. So a 40 kilometer hit from a target, and yeah, 35 kilometers from the lock, right? So it's crazy how good this thing actually is. Again, how useful, I don't know, but it's still pretty amazing, right? So now we're gonna try to use it to deploy a bomb over here. So we're gonna use these. Let me get close here to try to... We're gonna try to kill this AA system over here. Here we go. And now we need to get as much altitude as possible. This is kind of a glide bomb. Not really, but yeah, it's kind of a glide bomb. And we're gonna try to make this bomb hit a target that it's beyond the 20 kilometer mark, right? So let's try to do it 22 or something, like 25, maybe 25, just to be a little bit more fun. And we are fast enough. I think we're okay. So bomb is on the way. Because of the AAs, for example, I would turn and I would just basically bomb dots, of course, just like a GPS guided bomb. That would work properly. With the laser one, you can do it as well, above the 20 kilometer mark as well, if he has the energy. So let's see if the bomb has the energy. We're gonna try to maintain the lock over here. Again, like we did it before. And with this, you can just, like, stay away from any AA systems and still target some targets here and there, right? Since it's a large enough bomb, you should be able to destroy that AA system even if it hits. He doesn't have the energy. He doesn't have the energy. He didn't get close enough to activate. So it's a little bit harder to use than you think, but you can still do it, right? It will probably work better with a smaller ball. But anyway, you get the idea, guys. You get the idea, okay? So I see you guys on the next one. Make sure to subscribe and let me know in the comments if you think this is useful or it's just not at all and it will never be used in a real battle. Let me know in the comments. I see you guys on the next one, and bye.